Welcome to The Power in You with Dr. Alana, the hypnotist, where we combine clinical insight and the power of your subconscious mind so you can actually feel different and not just think about it. I'm Dr. Alana, a physician and a hypnotist, and I created this space for people who are ready to shift something real in their lives in a way that actually sticks. Now, before we start, I do want to call you out for a second. Yes, you. You might be listening to this while getting ready, brushing your teeth, picking out your clothes, already thinking about your day. And that's perfect because you don't actually need to stop what you're doing at all. You don't have to close your eyes while you're listening to this. You can listen while you move, while you think, while you're just living your life, getting ready for your day in the morning. And you can still notice something in you beginning to shift. And I want you to think about this for a moment. What would it actually mean for you if that thing you've been dealing with, overthinking about, second guessing about, and that feeling like you have to perform, what would it mean if all of that just wasn't running the show anymore? Not how would it happen, just what would change for you in your life? Because that's what we're working on here in this episode. I made this episode a 10-minute morning reset with a particular person in mind. But if you ever want to go deeper and really personalize this work for your life, your patterns, your mind, you can head over to my website, www.dralanathehypnotist.com. It'll also be in the show notes, and book a 1-hour personalized hypnosis session with me. All right, go ahead and settle into your own rhythm, and let's begin. As you listen to my voice, you can begin to focus your attention inward. And as your attention focuses inward, your unconscious mind can begin to listen, while your conscious mind continues preparing for the day. And consciously, you might be getting dressed, moving around, thinking about what's ahead, while unconsciously you can begin to follow the rhythm, follow my tone, follow that quiet pull. And you can just let all this work in the background. Because have you ever noticed how easy it is to get pulled into something without effort? Like when you're doing your morning routine and you're thinking about different things, and then suddenly you're already somewhere else. And you can let that happen here. You don't have to stop what you're doing. You can continue right on, brushing your teeth, getting dressed, moving through your space. And at the same time, you can begin to shift, because it's a good thing that your unconscious mind can listen for you. You've learned so many things in your life, and because you've learned, you can continue learning. And because you can continue learning, you can begin to apply something new, even without trying. And as you breathe, you might not notice at first, but every breath can begin to bring you back to yourself. everything out. Suppose that your unconscious mind can do anything you can imagine. Now, suppose that you had something on your mind. Then suppose you could simply let go of all the things that might be holding you back from thinking clearly and deeply. I suppose then you would have all the answers you need automatically. But I wonder, how will you know when you have peace? How will you be standing? How will you be communicating? How will your internal awareness change? And how will listening to this help you become a peaceful person naturally? I wonder if you have realized already that the most peaceful people are also the most authentically themselves. I wonder if you realize you can go in and out of your thoughts and memories pretty quickly and easily without dwelling on the past already. And I wonder if you realize that this means you already know what you can do. So you can continue right on being yourself. And sooner or later, you'll feel relaxed and nice. And you may find that you're already closer than you think. Because the more you listen, the more you notice. And the more you notice, the more things shift. And sooner or later, you find yourself thinking differently, responding differently, moving differently. And it happens while you're just living your life. And I wonder if you realize this yet, that you don't need to force clarity. Because when you relax into yourself, clarity comes. Do you remember a time where you had to answer a question? Like when taking an exam? Do you remember that feeling of knowing how to think about the question? Because the way you think about something is just as important as the answer. So just like when you had to answer a question before, and the answer comes, not by force, but by allowing your mind to organize, you can let the same thing happen here. Because if you trust yourself, then you can begin to shift, and things can naturally unfold immediately. And as you continue your morning, you can begin to notice how you feel in your body. More relaxed, more steady, more clear. And as you feel that, you can begin to make decisions that honor yourself. Not forced decisions, not rushed decisions, just honest ones. And you can take your time or move quickly. And either way, you're still being yourself. And you can trust yourself and let things unfold as if you're sitting up in a tree waiting. And you can experience your daily interactions as if they are all little kernels of popcorn or chips. Something tasty and delightful, but something to learn from each flavor. It's as if each flavor of chip or popcorn is like a different person you know, and you are a master taste tester. What would it be like if you tried a flavor that was so delicious? What would it be like if you tried a chip that didn't taste as you expected it? And you don't have to judge any of them. You can just experience them, like tasting something new. And when you don't resist the experience, it means you can learn from it, which means you can move through it. So every time, you can do so without holding on to it. And that creates a kind of freedom. The freedom to be yourself in any moment. And the more you allow that, the more natural it becomes, until it's just who you are. And sometime today, or maybe soon, you may find yourself in a moment, just a normal moment this time you don't. And you simply respond calmly, clearly, honestly. And after, you notice a sense of relief because you were just being yourself. And that moment begins to repeat again and again and again until it becomes natural, until it becomes you. And as you continue your day, you don't have to think about any of this because it's already working. And you may notice you begin making decisions that honor yourself without effort, just naturally. And you can continue getting ready now or move into the next part of your day knowing something has already shifted. Welcome back. That was really nice, wasn't it? And it's kind of a different experience to be able to continue on with your activities and your day while you're listening to a hypnotic track and while your subconscious mind does all the work for you in the background. It's kind of nice. And as you continue your day, you might actually start to notice little shifts in how you respond, how you speak, how you feel in your body. And the more you notice that, the more it's going to become more natural. Now, as I said at the beginning of this, I made this audio with a particular person in mind. But if you listened to this and you feel like you're at the point where you're ready for something deeper, something tailored specifically to you, this is where my work as both a physician and a hypnotist really comes in. Because we're not just talking about change, we're creating it in a way that works with both your mind and your nervous system. So you can head over to my website, www.dralanathehypnotist.com, and book a 1-hour personalized hypnosis session with me. I'll also put the link in the show notes, and we'll work together to shift what's been holding you back. Thank you so much again for listening to the Power in You with Dr. Alana the Hypnotist podcast. And as you move through the rest of your day, just notice what feels different. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks.